Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Several House Republicans are trying to impeach Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. I'm Laura Podesta. I'll tell you what's behind the effort.
And we have the latest on an attack on 2 people in Yellowstone National Park that happened 1 week ago.
Good morning, Southwest Montana, 6:30. Chet Lehman, Missy O'Malley with you. Matt has our forecast, looking at the weekend in a moment. Our top story this half hour. Group of 11 House Republicans have filed articles of impeachment against Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein.
And Democrats say that the move could undermine the ongoing investigation whether the Trump campaign colluded with Russia during the 2016 election. CBS's Laura Podesta has our latest from New York.
The 5 articles of impeachment charge Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein of high crimes and misdemeanors for allegedly failing to hand over information from the Russia investigation.
We're tired of the Justice Department giving us the finger and not giving us the information we're entitled to do our constitutional duty.
House conservatives Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows, who introduced the resolution, said on Fox News they could use procedural methods to force a vote this week. Rosenstein faced Jordan at a contentious House hearing last month.
If you're interested in the truth, Mr. Jordan, the truth is we have a team of folks, they're Trump appointees and career folks, and they're doing their best to produce these documents.
More than 800,000 documents related to Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe have already been given to Congress. Ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee Adam Schiff tweeted, "History will record these members as willing accomplices in the most serious threat to the rule of law in a generation."
If Robert Mueller comes back with findings that are negative or worrisome for President Trump, the more political that process looks, the better it is for his chances of surviving.
Rosenstein was tapped to oversee the Russia investigation when Attorney General Jeff Sessions recused himself. The House will require a simple majority to pass the impeachment resolution before sending the articles on to the Senate, where it's likely to fail. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Now, House Speaker Paul Ryan is expected to be asked about the impeachment in his weekly news conference later today.
And definitely more coming on that at 7 o'clock with the CBS morning show.
Absolutely.
Meantime, Matt steps in to join us here just ahead of 6:33. A little windy, a little cooler, a little better night for sleeping than it's been the last couple.
Thank you.
I think the afternoon's going to really be a marked difference for a lot of people in Southwest Montana, especially over the course of the next few days. This morning, no exception. 55 in Belgrade, 50 degrees in Butte, 37 in West Yellowstone, 47 just showed up in Innis this morning. Looks like our temperatures continue to be on the mild side. I do expect to see a little bit of thin clouds for the early part of the day. Beautiful sunrise there. Looks like our daytime high should be into the 80s. It looks like it'll be dry for today. More rain on the way, though. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit.
Thank you, Matt. 6:33 now on this Thursday. We have details about a violent attack inside Yellowstone National Park near Mammoth Hot Springs. They were released yesterday, 1 week after the crime.
And one man is behind bars facing an assault with a weapon for using bear spray on his victims. MTN's Mallory Peebles brings us a report from the scene of the crime.
An affidavit says it was in this bathroom that a woman was attacked by a man named Jackson Coombs. The document also says he wrapped toilet paper around his face and neck, likely to conceal his identity. According to the victim, when she went to leave her bathroom stall, a man started banging on the door until the lock busted. She says that's when he started punching her in the face and she began calling for help. Her boyfriend rushed over and says a physical fight broke out where he was bitten twice by Coombs and bear sprayed in the face. However, all 3 were affected by the bear spray. Court documents say the female victim ran to get authorities and another man helped pin Coombs until rangers arrived. Coombs remains in custody in Wyoming. Reporting from Yellowstone National Park, I'm Mallory Peebles for MTN News.
Court documents say that Coombs was also in possession of a knife at the time of the attack.
Shifting gears just a bit, President Donald Trump met with European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker yesterday at the White House to talk about tariffs and trade. All this in the hopes of preventing a transatlantic trade war. Omar Jimenez is in Washington with our report.
President Trump and Jean-Claude Juncker, president of the European Union Commission, lowering the temperature a bit on what at times have been tense negotiations over tariffs.
Unless one party would stop the negotiations, we will hold off further tariffs, and we reassess existing tariffs on steel and aluminium.
The two agreed to work towards zero tariffs and barriers.
This was a very big day for free and fair trade.
This announcement comes within the backdrop of an ongoing process. The U.S. imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum. Then, the European Union, along with Mexico and Canada, retaliated with tariffs of their own this summer, some targeting U.S. exports of agriculture products. China did the same after President Trump imposed $50 billion in tariffs on Chinese imports. Now, the Trump administration is offering $12 billion in aid to American farmers hurt by these tariffs.
We're not trying to replace farm income per se. We believe that the marketing disadvantages by the retaliatory tariffs have an impact on that.
But some Republicans have criticized the decision.
The tactics that are being used right now are not helping our producers.
Meanwhile, on the trade front, today's efforts were an attempt to prevent a transatlantic trade war from joining the tariff fight already brewing across the Pacific with China. In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez.
And in news a little closer to home, city parking officials say Butte's new parking garage is doing well since it opened earlier this year. The city's parking commission estimates that the new garage on West Park Street brings in between $50 and $80 a day since the city started charging for parking on June 1st. The city has sold 125 permits for parking in the 248-space garage.
Little growing pains here and there, but you know, the people have been great. The police are fantastic with patrolling it after hours. So really, it's been about as smooth as I could imagine.
Parking is $1 an hour between 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening, Monday through Friday, and it's free on the weekends.
Well, a new effort launched by the federal government, aided by state officials, is cracking down on scams that target those wishing to help veterans and active service members. In this week's Fraud Watch, MTN's Jacob Fuhrer tells us how you can spot the fake charities.
As Americans, we like to be patriotic and honor those who fought for our country. Sometimes it's with memorials like this one in the capital city. Other times it's parades or we donate money. But with that last one, we have to be careful because not every organization is honest about where that money goes. To combat veteran charity scams, the Federal Trade Commission and state governments recently launched Operation Donate with Honor, a program that aims to do two things.
To go after charities that are shams in terms of the way that they present themselves or they take in the donations and the way they spend them. And it's also a major education and outreach campaign.
Scammers have little moral compass and they're preying upon people's good hearts.
These charity scams usually promise to provide needed help and services to veterans like employment and mental health counseling or care packages. What's worse, the fake charities are tricky to spot because they're everywhere, online or over the phone, in the mail, door to door, even in retail stores. They even have convincing names like Healing Heroes Network or American Disabled Veterans Foundation.
There's really no one particular area that consumers need to watch out for. It's more of a matter of being on alert all the time.
State officials recommend checking online to verify a charity is real. Also, donate local and ask friends and family where they gave their money in the past. If the charity has a brick-and-mortar location, that's usually a good sign. Don't ever wire money, pay with cash, or use a prepaid card. Instead, pay with a credit card or check.
But it also hurts legitimate charities when money is diverted to scam organizations. So you have to be very careful again and do your homework.
In Helena, Jacob Fuhrer, MTN News.
Now, Jacob tells us Montana Department of Justice recommends using websites like charitynavigator.org, where you can search individual charities and their ratings. Good idea. Unfortunately, that we even have to bring that tip out there, but yeah, some good advice in that by Jacob.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Always. Thank you for that, Jacob. Yep. We do have to take a quick break. Thank you for joining us on your Thursday morning. When Montana This Morning returns, we take a look how a quirky hobby turned a man into an internet sensation.
Oh, you're going to love that one. But first, let's check in with Gail King, see what's coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS This Morning, a new investigation claims the U.S. is the most dangerous place for women to give birth. in the developed world. First on CBS This Morning, USA Today's Allison Young is here with the results of her investigation into the safety practices allegedly being skipped. We'll see you 7 o'clock on the dot.